A question that I get asked a lot is, why do so many lesbians come out as bisexual before coming out as a lesbian? And that's a great question. The biggest reason is compulsory heterosexuality. So, the biggest reason that so many lesbians come out as bisexual before they come out as lesbians is because our attraction to men can be learned, it's expected. If anything, it's encouraged. So, whenever we realize, oh, I'm attracted to a woman, we think, okay, well, I've been told that I should be attracted to men, but I'm also attracted to women. We're taught to prioritize male attention, male affection, any sort of compliment from a man. That's elite for women, right? So that attraction and that acceptance of solo attraction to women usually doesn't come until later in life when we start decentering men and we realize, oh wait, I'm attracted to men because I'm supposed to be attracted to men. Unfortunately, that is not how it works. We do not get to choose who we have crushes on. And it's totally normal to be a lesbian that first came out as bisexual because at the time, that is what you knew. So why don't we get into the top 3 reasons that lesbians sometimes come out initially as bisexual? And if you'd like to read the full blog on this, check out my website at lesbianagenda.com. That being said, let's get into it. So what is the difference between lesbian and bisexual? So if you're bisexual, that means you're attracted to more than one gender. And it isn't just limited to you're attracted to just men and women. You can be attracted to men, women, non-binary. The baseline for bisexual is attracted to more than one gender. And for lesbians, it's solo attraction. So in my case, I'm actually called a late bloomer lesbian. And so most of my life, I thought I was attracted to men. And that's just because that's what I was taught. Growing up, I really thought that everyone was actually attracted to women and only tolerated men because we were supposed to. And that's a pattern that I hear a lot from lesbians is our reality is that we are attracted to women. Regardless of what society tells us, it's nothing we can control. So it's harder to come into that in a world that prioritizes exclusive attraction to men. And that confusion between bisexual and lesbian, that comes from a feeling of safety, that obligation habit. So if you spend your whole life, even as a young child, hearing, oh, you're going to have a boyfriend one day, oh, you're going to be a heartbreaker one day, that's the obligation. We are expected to bring that with us into relationships, even if inside it's just fulfilling your duties and putting a check mark on a box that you didn't even consent to having in front of you. So the system that has fucked us all up is called compulsory heterosexuality, aka Comphet. Comphet is that society's set of rules that tells us that we are attracted to the opposite gender. So especially tells women, no, you need to be seeking validation from men, not other women. Women are your competition. You need to center men, and that's it. And so that's where the confusion comes in, especially if you don't realize that not everyone thinks, oh, men are just an obligation. Some people actually are attracted to men. We listen and we don't judge. And so whenever men find us attractive, we conflate that with validation. I've now done what's been expected of me. You're doing what you're told. Women are taught that, hey, if a man compliments you, if he says you're pretty, anything, says, oh, you're actually really funny, we're told that we are supposed to take that as a compliment. But for lesbians, that just feels rote and obligatory for us. Just being able to tolerate men can be confused with being attracted to men. Comphet is reason 1 that gets so many lesbians and bisexual women mixed up. Reason number 2, that's going to be that survival and safety aspect. So in a society that prioritizes heterosexual relationships and really centers men, if you are a woman that has a man to commit to or whatever, that's safety, that's approval. No one looks at you twice. And it's different for lesbians. We walk hand in hand, we get a lot of side eyes. But if you're a lesbian or a bisexual woman and you are with a man, no one bats an eye because the world centers men. But safety isn't the same thing as desire. Comphet fucks up a lot of us. And the fact that Comphet says that, oh, you are safe and you are secure as long as you are with a man. So not having this information out there is a big reason why bisexual and lesbian women get so confused whenever they finally realize, I'm attracted to women. Another thing with survival and safety, maybe religious beliefs, family expectation too. So if your family wouldn't approve and your family is your safety, that's going to throw a little monkey wrench in there too. It's going to take you a little bit longer to figure out and accept my family has one set of values. It doesn't align with mine. Totally normal. Been there. And you're definitely not alone. The biggest thing is so much easier for heterosexual couples to survive in a heterocentric world. That's safety, but just because it's easier doesn't mean that love is authentic. So how does this confusion and illusion of safety end up showing up in real life? A few things that I've heard bisexual women and late bloomer lesbians say is, I liked men, but I didn't miss them. Some closeted lesbians, some closeted bisexual women may kind of lean into, oh, I'm supposed to be attracted to men by seeking out the validation of many men, not realizing that I'm still not into this. It sucks because society says, well, if you're not into that, something's wrong with you. But it's not true. Nothing's wrong. I know, at least for me, I thought that attraction was anxiety, performance even, because we're supposed to be performing heterosexuality. And for some of us, it really is a performance. It's not just our baseline. Another thing that I noticed was all of my relationships with men felt really neutral. And that's not to say whenever I would go through a breakup with a man, it wouldn't impact me. Losing someone that you become great friends with and you're used to them being a part of your daily life, it doesn't matter their gender. It's still heartbreaking. It's wild that even in Comphet, we're not taught that, no, you should be wildly attracted to men, not just, in my case, fairly neutral. No, you seem like a cool dude. Yeah, I'll go on a date with you. And that was it. However, it's completely different with women. With women, I know for me at least, I'm more attentive, focused, and it doesn't matter how they present. It's not a difference between femininity and masculinity, man versus, no. There's no verses there. There's no comparison. But with women, I suddenly understand what they were trying to teach us growing up about who you should be attracted to. However, Comphet doesn't also include a clause that says, oh, by the way, if you happen to be attracted to the same gender, here's how that relationship might look. We don't get that in Comphet, do we? So again, yeah, it shows up in real life in many ways, and it's just a constant pattern that comes from lesbians and bisexual women having to hide who they are their whole life, and in bisexual women's cases, being erased entirely. And for the bisexual community, that is actually a detriment. To have lesbians going from the straight to bisexual to maybe pansexual to, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian pipeline, starts erasing bisexual people even more. Bisexuality is a valid orientation. We do not have any spaces for bisexual folks to actually stake their claim and show us what actual attraction to more than one gender can look like. There are some women who come out as bisexual, they remain bisexual, and they know that, and that is amazing. Why? Because bisexuality is valid. There's no phases to coming out. Bisexuality isn't a midway point between straight and lesbian. Bisexuality is its own specific orientation with its own lived experience. We're taught that bisexuality is a phase or it's not actually valid, when in reality, it actually is, but it's the system that is invalidating bisexuality and even making lesbians have to co-opt bisexuality just to be able to come out. There isn't enough information about bisexuality. And how is that fair to anyone? So if you're someone that's questioning your sexuality and wondering, wait, am I bisexual? Am I a lesbian? What am I? First of all, that's a very valid question, and you're not alone. And what's more important than labeling yourself is understanding the confusion. And understanding why that confusion exists is more important than choosing any label today. No one owes anyone a label. So if you're talking about your orientation and your lived experience and someone tries to label you for you, know that that's not their place. Only you can decide what your label is. And if you don't even want a label, you don't have to have one. And the important thing that they don't teach us is curiosity is normal. We need to have more curiosity. We need to have more people saying, I have a crush on that person and they're the same gender as me. And I don't know, I've been told that's not how I'm supposed to live, but I'm curious. Let me try this. Curiosity is so normal and it is how you learn about yourself. That being said, labels are just a label. Only you can really decide who you are. And understanding the context of bisexual erasure and that confusion between lesbian identity and bisexual identity and the pipeline that does erase bisexual folks, that's important. And if there's one thing I can teach you, and it's something I had to learn the hard way through lived experiences, there is no shame in coming out as bisexual before coming out as a lesbian. Because society isn't giving bisexuals or lesbians that support. It's normal. And if you are someone that comes out as bisexual and then later in life realize you're a lesbian, that's nothing to feel ashamed of. You weren't lying. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're not alone. If you'd like to learn more about this, why don't you hit that like and subscribe? And if you'd like to read the full blog, why don't you check out my website at lesbianagenda.com. I also have my free Am I a Lesbian quiz there. It's just a short free quiz, and it's a fun way to start off and start your journey and question what's happening. So thank you for sitting through this. I hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.